In Norway, students' knowledge of mathematics is at a critical level. In the world-spanning PISA test in 2006, Norwegian students scored under the average of OECD countries in the subject of mathematics. In my bachelor project in visual communication, I have looked into how I, as a graphic designer, can contribute to make math more easily understandable and the area of usage for the mathematical language more accessible. The result is called MIsterX. MIsterX is a concept for a new school book that actively uses visualization as metadata to the example tasks in the book. The visualization brings the logic of the mathematical language to life in more than one dimension and helps students learn the rules, function, logic, and area of usage of the language. The standard way of teaching math is to use the mathematical language and tell students the rules of the language. For many, this way of teaching is not very effective. And one of the reasons is how the mathematical language and the numeric system is constructed. For though it's very brilliant in its ability to solve and explain an unlimited amount of tasks with a very limited amount of symbols, it is very poor at giving a visual representation of the values and function that it represents. I have made a system of simple graphics that help explain what happens in a task related to subtraction with fractions. First, I tell the rules that applies when dealing with subtraction and fractions. Then I show the correct way of solving this task using the mathematical language. Multiply 4 and 5 with 6 to get 24 30s. Multiply 1 and 3 with 10 to get 10 30s. Multiply 1 and 6 with 5 to get 5 30s. Subtract 10 and 5 from 24 to get 9 30s, which is equal to 3/10, and that is the correct answer. 2 lines under the answer and the task is done. This is where a normal book would move on to the next task or add some more or less explaining text. Here comes what makes MIsterX different. I have created a simple system of colored pie charts to show what really happens with the values represented by the numbers and the fractions in the task. Some of the questions that are normally asked when dealing with math and fractions is why we have to find the common denominator. This can be a hard question to answer, but with the help of simple visualizations, it becomes much easier. And by color coding the different fractions, it is simple to follow the fractions in the task and see that when the writing of the fraction is modified, the value is constant. I have also made a system that helps explain the different functions in the task. This makes it easier to follow the development that takes place in the different steps of the task. Together, these visualizations makes the logic of the math come to life in a new and for many more accessible dimension. The structure can be used differently by different students. Students with a good mathematical understanding might only need the rules written at the top. Some might find it to be enough to see the standard way of solving the task using only the mathematical language. Others find great help in the pie chart visualizations, and some might find the functional explanations very helpful. What I am sure of is that this way of showing rules and examples communicates to a larger part of the target area than the more established methods. I've also found that this visualization makes it easier for the student with a good mathematical understanding to teach the students with a poor understanding. It becomes not only a tool for learning, but a tool for teaching. Math is an universal language, and its area of usage transcends any other. The problems of tomorrow will be solved using subjects directly related to math. A good teaching tool is needed to help the many who struggle with this subject, and it's my belief that MIsterX is a huge step in the right direction. To learn more about this project, go to this webpage.